was like cheesy crumb stuff in the bed. I made the mistake of eating pizza in bed. Sorry. Well, we were talking about it.
Well, it's your bed.
Well, I know, but I really shouldn't have been.
If you don't have enough sense to not eat crumbly things in bed, then you might as well just
not complain
roll
about
over and
it.
not
Okay,
complain about
well,
it.
I was watching football, and I just had some leftover pizza, and well.
See what I have to put up with?
I know.
Anyway, we just have a few more minutes, and I'll be so glad when this is over with.
Yeah, I know. You get a break for another week.
We have in the studio with us Nancy Tester and Daniel Driver. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
And you're here to talk about the Baxter County Adult Education Program, specifically GED.
Yes. So.
And you've been on the show before talking about GED, and you said right before you sat down that you're so glad to be here because there's at least someone that gets a GED from seeing this.
Yeah.
And that's great for us. We love to hear that. We don't always get to hear that. So.
Well, whoever it is that's out
Come on
there,
down.
It's a free program. Right now it doesn't cost any money. All they have to do is come to the Baxter County Adult Education Center and get some testing and see where they are. And it's free classes, free books, and it's free test all the way through the end of 2013. And then in 2014, the state of Arkansas is going to start charging for the GED test.
Oh, okay.
So people
So
need
this
to come
is good.
in now.
Yeah, okay. Do you find that people are apprehensive to finally want to do? I mean, at some point it's probably liberating that they make the decision to want to come to get a GED. But do they tell you stories of taking years and years and years before they make that?
That's a very good question. Yeah, I think it's hard to get the momentum to come in.
Yeah.
It's like me with an exercise program. I mean to go in, but I don't. But if they'll just make that phone call and call, somebody will help them. The teachers, that's what they're there to do, is to help the students.
Well, let me ask you, Daniel. You're a GED graduate.
Sure.
Okay. What's your background? What was were you a dropout?
Well, yes, I was, and I dropped out in 10th grade, actually, and I was wanting to get a job.
What were you thinking?
Well, I can tell you now.
He's
right?
wanting to get a job by a truck, I bet, yeah.
And, I mean, I moved up here 6 years ago, and I decided, I was like, well, I'm going to get my GED here real soon. And then a couple of years actually passed by, and I still haven't had it, so then I kind of turned around and I looked in the phone book and found the GED program, and I actually called and I talked to Miss Nancy actually, and she was like, "Well, just come on up here and we'll test you and we'll see where you stand." And I was like, "Okay." So a couple of weeks later, finally got around to it after my job and whatnot, and took the test and I worked on it for about 6 months, 7 months, and I mean, great teachers. They helped me out a lot, and just up in a couple of weeks ago, I believe I got my diploma in.
Yeah, what did that feel like?
Oh, it was amazing. It was like a big chip off my shoulder.
Yeah,
it was done.
Yeah,
and I was like, well,
what was your life like before the GED? Were you hitting roadblocks to where you couldn't get a better job and those kind of things?
I was, and I mean, I went to a few interviews and stuff like that, and they were like, well, you don't have a high school education or GED, so we can't really hire you right now. So I was like, okay. And that's whenever I fully decided. I was like, well, I'm not going to be able to proceed anymore if I do not have the GED. So I was like, well, I'm going to make it, a point to get it.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. And thankful to Miss Nancy and few of the other teachers, I was able to get it.
Now, how many hours a week did you have to spend studying?
Well, I was only able to actually come on 2 hours.
Okay.
So it was about 4 hours every week is what I had. It was 2 hours every other day.
And that's why it took 6 to 7 months?
That's why it took me so long, because I was working and trying to take care of my family. And
But that's a great point. I think that Daniel's probably in a group that is typical of people that are in the workplace and don't have a lot of time. And you work with them around their schedule. Is that right?
And they're such admirable people. A lot of them are just exhausted when they come in because they've put in a full shift at work, or but Daniel's boss worked with him to make
They sure
time
do.
for him to come in. But they have classes at really weird times in order to try and fit everybody's schedule. But it's neat to watch people get it because, you know, there are a lot of really smart people in Arkansas that just need a little bit education. They can do anything.
Yeah. The teachers that teach this GED class, is it a curriculum just for GED? And are those teachers trained to teach those? Are they full-blown teachers? Or
Yeah, you have to be certified.
Okay.
But it's almost always math. What do you think it is in math that most people work on?
Most people work on fractions
Yeah.
and decimals and stuff like that is what most people have problems to get into. As far as measurements and stuff like that, they have a little problem then. I mean, I've helped a couple of them even while I was in there trying to do mine, and I had a few of them ask me, you know, what things, you know, what do you believe I can do to this to fix it, you know? And I would try to help them the best way I could, and then after I get done asking them, I'll turn around and ask them this answer. It was like, I did this problem here. Can you make sure I did it right? And she'd go up there to the board and she'll make sure that I did it right. And she's like, well, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, that was good.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
But
pretty cool.
I mean, it's just, I mean, like I said, they do a great job over there. And I mean, I even talked to a few people about going, and actually there's just one girl that actually started here a couple of weeks ago. And she's on a day class though, and she's getting her GED now.
For someone that wanted to come in and say they had time to take the entire course, how long would it take?
It depends on how much they know before they come in.
Okay, so the test is will put you in a certain category to let you know if it'll take months or less.
Yeah, or it'll usually show what the deficits are that the person needs to go over.
Math
algebra,
or English or
they've never had geometry, or they need to learn how to write an essay, or they need to boost up their reading skills a little bit.
Can you pass part of the GED then? Like if someone came in and, you know, could write well but didn't have the math skills, or is it just one great big test? You kind of have to wait till you can do it all. You can't pass the writing part and say, whew, I don't have to worry about that anymore and work just on the math?
But they have to bring all their scores
Everything
up at the
has
same
to.
time.
Okay.
So, but we'll, you know, we've got lots of time. It's like you with sports; they just need momentum.
Just momentum. And we want to stress that it's free of charge.
Yeah.
And that the adult ed will work with whatever schedule. If you can only come 1 day a week, if you can come 3 or 4 days a week, 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And because that's important, because a lot of people, as Dan was saying, if you work, I'm sure there are a lot of people at home going, well, how am I supposed to fit this in? I've got work, I've got kids, I don't have time for this. Well, you don't have time not to do it. You need to get started.
Yeah.
Yeah. Classes start at 7:30 in the morning to help people that are getting off third shift from the lab, and they go till 7 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. But we'll work with them.
Where are the classes all held there at the Adult Ed Center? Okay.
On Bradley Drive, 1322 Bradley Drive, in the same parking lot where they have the driver's ed testing.
Okay. Back over behind like Domino's Pizza back in there.
Yeah.
Now, when is the cutoff date before the state is going to start charging for this?
Good question. On January 1st, 2014,
Okay.
they'll start charging to get the GED test.
So there's another year that they can go.
But people need to come in now.
Yeah.
In 2014, people that have passed part of the test before and have another test to go, all those tests will be finished.
So you need to
They'll
have
have to start all over.
you need to have time to get to that deadline.
Yes.
Before-
And we'll be seeing you next year too, I'm sure. But,
Yeah.
but it'd be better
Yeah.
if they came in
Sooner
now
the
and got
better,
it out
okay.
of their way and could get all those jobs
Yeah.
that they wanted
Yeah.
before next year.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, are you in need of tutors or anything else while you're here? Do we have a call for tutors or volunteers or anything?
Well, I think we're doing okay with that. The main thing we need are students for the Adult Education Center, that people would know about adult ed and the GED program, and that it's free. We felt like that it's a really good program. People just aren't aware of it.
Yeah, it's hard to get the message out everywhere.
It
It's
is,
just really
yeah.
hard.
And there are shy people, and they're probably out there right now.
Yeah.
Well, we're we're titillating them right now.
That's right.
Yeah, so
But they
hopefully
just-
that we'll get another success story from one of our viewers out there. And don't be shy. This is something that's going to benefit you for your entire life, as Daniel will probably attest to.
But it just starts with a simple phone call.
It's a
You
simple
just
phone
make
call.
the phone call and say, this is what I want to do, and Nancy will.
She will work around you any way she can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Well, congratulations
appreciate it.
on getting your education there, and you
appreciate
said earlier it's like relieving a pressure off of you, chip off your shoulder. I think is what you
Yeah.
said. And what are you planning to do now?
I'm planning on getting a really good job. I'm hoping somewhere in a welding field.
Okay.
Is the best way I've.
Well, a lot of people may be welders and they don't have a GED. Now, why would you want to go into the welding field?
Well, to what I want to go into something that I've been wanting to go back to the college and actually proceed in my welding and try to get certified in everything
Okay.
that I can.
So that requires a GED.
And you
Minimum,
actually
yeah.
have to have a GED.
Okay.
And there is some companies out there to get a welding job with, you have to have a GED
Yeah.
or high school education. But,
Yeah.
And some of them will actually turn you down because of it.
Wow.
And
So they have high standards and they're looking for people that have
Definitely
those
do.
same high standards.
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, great to have you all on the show again. Thank you for being here, and
Appreciate it.
congratulations once again, Daniel. And we're going to take one more break. We have a few minutes left remaining in the show, and we'll close the show out. Stay with us.